Hello, my name's Toby Thompson. I'm here today with John Glen, Senior Lecturer in Economics here at Cranfield. John, you and I were in the studio talking about the Ashes win.
That's
recently.
true.
Good to hear. We're looking at the Deloitte report on the performance of football teams, which came out earlier this year, and you've had a chance to read that. So say some more about your findings from that report.
Well, essentially this is a report that Deloitte's produce on an annual basis and have done so now for quite a large number of years, and it allows us to assess the performance of the 20 largest teams in the world by revenue. Not unsurprisingly, the top three teams this year, as they've tended to be for the last number of years, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Manchester United. Perhaps more interestingly, what Deloitte's do is they split the revenues of the clubs and they look at their commercial activities, their match day activities, how many people they attract to the ground, and also the impact of the television deals that they've been able to negotiate.
So what's the breakout of that revenue stream for each of those? Is it the same for each club?
No, it's not the same for each club. So, for example, if you look at the two big Spanish teams at the top of that league, Real Madrid and Barcelona are able to negotiate their own television deal, independent of all of the other teams in La Liga, and therefore their revenues are disproportionately associated with TV income.
So you're looking at TV, you're looking at shirts, you're looking at match day tickets.
Yeah.
And is there some prescription that you can read into the Deloitte report saying that it should be equal for each?
Now, you can't really say that it should be equal, but what you would worry about is if there was an imbalance in those revenues. So, for example, if you look at the four big Italian clubs, Inter and AC Milan, Juventus and Roma, historically, up until this year, they've been able to negotiate their own television deal, and therefore their revenues have been supported by that. But as of this year, they have to share television revenues with the rest of the teams in Serie A. And what this reveals is an underlying weakness in their matchday revenues, which have been a very, very small proportion of their total revenues compared to the other teams that are represented in the top 20 revenue earners.
So quite a change they've got to make in terms of building that matchday revenue up.
Yeah, they've now got to look at putting a much greater effort into attracting people to the ground, and then once people have been attracted to the ground, looking to get as much revenue from each individual visitor as they possibly can.
So can we assume from the report then that the revenues match the brands of these top teams?
Yeah, there are some interesting sort of data. If you look at, for example, commercial revenues, you might expect that those teams with the biggest brands, for example, Manchester United, Barcelona and Real Madrid, would be the most successful in terms of their commercial revenues, but it's actually Bayern Munich who've managed to get the most in terms of absolute revenue as far as commercial activities would be concerned. And therefore you would need to look at the extent to which supposed global brands are being monetized in terms of the club's ability to attract commercial revenue.
So we do know how Bayern Munich are doing that? Does the report give some indication?
The report generally speaks on the trend and the relative performance. In terms of looking at the underlying strategies that Bayern Munich are looking at to secure those commercial revenues or have engaged in to secure those commercial revenues, there isn't that much detail. But frankly, if I were looking at the performance of commercial directors at Real Madrid, at Barcelona and indeed at Manchester United, then I'd want to question the extent to which they were fully exploiting these so-called global brands.
John Glen, thank you very much indeed for your time today.
Thank you.